Hey guys, it's Wes with your Minecraft tip of the day for Friday, May 20th. And today I'm just going to be talking about what's going to be coming up in Minecraft in the future, what you're going to be seeing in the near future and in the distant future. And I'm going to be talking about only things that I know are absolutely confirmed by Notch and a couple of generally accepted rumors that are pretty much true to our knowledge. Um, but the biggest update that we know about is that patch 1.6 is coming out sometime next week, anytime from May 23rd to May 26th. So what's definitely going to be a 1.6? Well, what we absolutely know is going to be 1.6 is the map item for certain. And what is the map item? I'm here on the Minecraft wiki, by the way, with links to all these pages. In the top left, you can click the annotations, and you'll be sent right here to read all this stuff. Um, Maps are items, and they're tools that you hold out in front of you. And as you can see in this image, there are going to be two states of the map. One where you can hold it down so that you can see where you're going, and one where you can hold it up so that you can edit the map and look at the map directly. And how does a map work? Well, from what I've gained is that a map is basically just a user-generated file that reads, like, if you can imagine it this way, it puts a camera on top of the world and looks down and writes what it sees. And the way that it works is that like wherever you create a map, that's the center of the map, and then it determines some sort of radius for the map, and the distance that the map covers is constant. So if you go beyond the distance that the map can cover, it's no longer going to be writing content. Here's an image of a like a half-covered map. So this person started in the center there, as you can see. That's where he made his map. Then he traveled south and then east, or northeast, kind of. And so as you can see, the map writes content as you're traveling. So in order to actually have a fully functioning map, you have to go out and explore while holding the map, which is awesome. That means that you're basically making the maps yourself. And so in order to have a very large map, like a map that covers, like if your town if your town covers like two large regions, like thousands of blocks, you're gonna need to make two separate maps. One that covers the first region, one that covers the second region, and you're probably going to want to find where one overlaps the other so that you can know generally where the maps cover. Um, there is a rumor going around, or Notch has mentioned, that he is going to make maps placeable on walls. So in effect, you could eventually make gigantic maps, for all we know. We could cover thousands and thousands of blocks, not on a single map, but on a couple of maps placed on a wall. We're not sure about that yet, but that's what he suggested. The other thing that he has confirmed is that you're going to be able to duplicate maps, so that if you've got a big server with tons of people and when somebody joins and they're like, hey, where am I? You can duplicate your map and give it to them, and they'll be able to know their way around the area if you have a very large city. If you don't, it's probably not going to be very useful because it looks like maps cover a very large area. So like if you have a small town that's maybe 50 by 50 blocks, a map is not going to help them navigate that town. But it will help them navigate entire regions and maybe find their way back, because I believe, let's see. Yes, it does indicate your location on the map. So if you're far away from your town, this is a great way other than a compass to find your way back to your town. As we know right now, shift-clicking items in a chest or in your inventory while opening a chest will send them directly to the chest or directly to your inventory. Notch is going to make that work in 1.6 for furnaces and crafting squares. So if you've ever had trouble, if you make like a stack of wood and you don't want to click 64 times or whatever it is, Notch is making it so you can just shift click and it will automatically move all that stuff in your inventory and sort it. Notch is also fixing a lot of the bugs in the known bugs pages on the Minecraft wiki, which there's a link to right here, and you can read all of these. It's not confirmed which ones he's exactly fixing. If you go on Notch's Twitter, you can read some of the things he posts, some of the things that he fixes. But some of these include minecart collisions, so minecarts that travel next to each other. There's a clip of it right here. You can see it on our boosters. What this used to do is it used to cause extremely high velocities. Almost instantly, your minecart would have reached the max speed, and this was kind of what we call the traditional booster. This used to boost minecarts, and this used to be the way that you accelerated a minecart while staying in it. But now that we have powered rail, that's kind of obsolete, so Notch is getting rid of that. To compensate, he's making powered rail much more powerful. So you need less gold and less powered rail to accelerate yourself more quickly. Also, he's making it so that powered minecarts are also more powerful. So when you take a minecart and you put a furnace on top, as you can see here, and then you fuel it, this could push minecarts, it now pushes them a little bit more powerfully. So that functions as a booster as well if you can't find gold or if you don't want to use powered rail. The next thing Notch is fixing for sure, well, this isn't really a bug. It's the Minecraft elevators, or the concept that if a boat goes into water that's like above it, kind of, or it goes into water and it's technically underwater, it'll rise up. And this used to happen very, very fast. It's not going to happen as fast anymore, which means a couple of things that are kind of important. Water slides that have ramps at least, or water slides that use water elevators, are probably no longer going to work. At least not as well. And also, if you have any water elevators in your town or in your your buildings or anything, those are going to be much slower, and you're going to want to check to make sure that they aren't so big that they're going to drown you by the time you reach the top. Also, if you're doing anything with powered rails, you're going to want to make sure that that isn't affected by this boost. I'm sure that our train station will be, so I'm going to be checking on that. Notch is also making nether portals work in SMP, so you can now go to the nether in survival multiplayer with your friends and explore that and make bases there, just as you would in the world now. Which means that it's probably going to take a little bit heavier toll on your server, and it's also going to, your server is also going to take up a little bit more memory on your computer. So just check to make sure that you have that. Right now, you can go to the nether in SMP. You can go in the server properties and change Hell World to true, as you can see here. But there is no way to move your character between the nether and the overworld in SMP, and the reason for that is probably because in single player right now, going to the nether stops time in the overworld. Probably has something to do with that issue. I'm sure it has a lot of other things, but not whatever it is, not just fixing that in 1.6. The last thing that Notch is making for sure is hatches, and hatches are essentially doors that are flat, and we have no screenshots of that unfortunately, but we can assume that it looks like a trapdoor. And the only parameter that I'm sure about for a hatch is that it's 1x1 block, and also that it has to have a block next to it. So that's definitely everything that's coming out for 1.6, which that's everything that's confirmed for next week. Something else that I noticed on Notch's Twitter this morning was that he's apparently testing, or I don't know if this is confirmed that he's actually putting in this game, but this looks like ground clutter on grass. I have seen texture packs and mods that actually apply this already. And all it really looks like is just flowers. I would guess that you can't mine this. I would guess that it applies to grass. And I'm sure there's going to be an option to turn this off, because it's probably going to take a heavy toll on people's frame rates. But that's what it looks like right now. This could change, obviously, but this is just kind of a sneak preview. Some other important things to note for the distant future, or whenever these updates are going to come out, but these are some things that you might want to be aware of that Notch is testing. We're already doing a lot of preparing for our world for some of these updates. One notable one is that Notch is adding a couple more mobs. This isn't a huge deal, but I have heard of some things, and remember, this is all speculation. I have heard sea monsters, dragons, giants, pigmen. What else? What else have I heard? Prefix mobs. So like right now, there's already overcharged or supercharged or something creepers, and they get hit by lightning. So I have heard of like cobblestone creepers or something, and like flaming spiders and things like that. Because it's pretty obvious that Notch wants to make combat a little bit more fun, because we already know that mining and building things is tons of fun, but combat is just left clicking. It kind of feels like Oblivion, where you're just kind of ragdolling things until they die. Notch is adding bow enhancements at some point. I don't know when that's going to be, but what that means is that like we can get a stone sword or a diamond sword. That kind of thing will apply to bows soon. Eventually, Notch will be adding official modding support, which means that, I mean, he already has this for texture packs and it works very well. So soon we're going to be seeing official modding support, which probably won't apply to SMP, but it probably will apply to single players. You'll probably be able to use mods legally. I don't know if it's actually illegal, but Notch will accept mods within the code soon. There have been references to mountable mobs. Now, you can already mount pigs for sure. I'm not sure what this means. I have seen mods where you can mount horses, so you can actually tame horses and mount them and use them as travel. Right now, there's no actual way to just travel across the land. You have to either have a minecart track, you have to have water. So horses would actually solve that. So Notch, if you're watching this, make horses, because that's a great way to travel across land. Rain will be regrowing flowers soon. Eventually, slime balls will have some use. Right now, they're totally and completely useless. They don't do anything. I have heard that they've been used for currency in certain servers because they're so completely useless. Also, books will have a use soon. Um, now that we have user created content in game using maps, Notch has hinted that we'll be able to make our own books. We'll be able to write text in them. Possibly we may be able to make our own paintings, but that's all speculation. Um, Stereoscopic 3D and audio loops will definitely be coming soon. Um, 3D, I mean, there's already 3D in it, but it's with like the teal red glasses or whatever that is, and nobody uses that anymore. So he's adding stereoscopic 3D at some point, and audio loops are not in the game right now. You can hear music every once in a while, but that's triggered when you enter certain locations, I believe. Something that's very, very interesting that I saw today is this sky dimension, or the floating island dimension. And this is a work in progress, but it's supposed to be kind of the the opposite of the nether. Where if we equate the nether to hell, this is kind of gonna be heaven, or like the aether, or whatever it is. And so I'm unsure as to whether you will have to take a portal to this region. Judging from these screenshots, which are kind of cool, you can't see the overworld, or you can't see the normal Minecraft world under here, even though we can see the clouds. So I'm assuming that by jumping off this place, you actually die. You do not end up in your normal world, no matter how hard you try. This could be false. If we do require a portal, I would assume it's something like diamond, because that would be kind of heavenly. But again, that's total speculation. Don't believe a word I say. But just showing you guys what to expect in the future. Some other things to take definite note of are lanterns, which are going to be basically Notch has planned, and he planned to do this in a Halloween update for last year, which was a very long time ago, but I guess he didn't have time or something. He's going to make torches non-permanent. So you're going to have to relight your torches with a flint and iron or whatever it is, and somehow you're going to have to get these lanterns. I have heard rumors that it's going to be made with iron. I have heard rumors that it's going to be made with stone, and I have heard rumors that it's going to be made with glowstone from the nether. Any one of those sounds cool to me, and there are reasons for all of them. Stone, we would argue, would be too easy. Iron, we would argue, would be a waste of iron because there are already too many uses of iron. And glowstone, we would argue, is way too hard to get permanent lighting. Basically, if it was glowstone, what would happen is you'd have to have a very, very small shelter that you'd have to relight all the time, because I wouldn't be able to relight all the lights on my castle right now. That would be completely insane until you get to the nether, which is basically kind of the end game of Minecraft. That's once you have access to the nether, you have access to every block, because that means you got diamond, got obsidian, placed it, and then went to the nether. So it'd be odd to have permanent lighting once you've gotten every other resource, when you should have permanent lighting to get resources. But Notch has also announced that when lanterns come out, all torches that are placed on the world and all torches that are in any inventory or chest will be replaced with lanterns, so that you don't have to go around and light all your torches again. So, for that reason, what we've been doing, as you can see on the screen, is we have been stockpiling torches like crazy, so that when this comes out, if it's really hard to get lanterns, we're going to have them all set already. Made by coal, so that basically we're spending our useless resources instead of spending iron or glowstone or whatever it is. If it's stone, no big deal, but it can't hurt to have lanterns anyways. Another important thing to note is that Notch is going to be adding a food meter and hunger at some point, which will be an optional gameplay aspect. Optional, which means you can turn this option off, kind of like you can go to peaceful mode. And it's kind of going to be like a meter that depletes, and if you get to the end, you either start taking damage or you die, and you have to eat food at some point. If this happens, food will become stackable like cookies are now, but this will apply to ham and everything, so that you can carry it around and eat it when you get hungry. I'm hoping that you don't get hungry like 4 times a day, and it doesn't end up like The Sims, where you have to like eat food whenever you need to and go to the bathroom or whatever. Do all this stuff. I just want to play Minecraft and just have this as kind of a separate thing that I can add to enhance my gameplay experience and not annoy me. But for that reason, you might want to start stacking up on food. Not a big deal. We made our farm for that reason. I'm assuming that bread will fill this meter. It'll be fine. So bread isn't very, very useful to bring up your hearts right now. It feels like a heart and a half or 2 hearts or something. So I'm planning to just use bread to to fill this food meter whenever I need to, if we end up playing with that option on. And two other things I'd like to point out. One is web blocks, which have already been added to the game in 1.5, but there's no way to actually get them in the game right now. I'm assuming that spiders will drop them. And what these blocks do is they're kind of transparent in addition to being you can walk through them basically. They lack any sort of collision, and they also don't prevent chests or like anything that opens from opening. And so here's some clips of web blocks that I got through inventory editing. And the last thing is that Notch does plan to add fence gates. So we're done, using doors on fences, which look completely ridiculous. I've also heard rumors and basically seen this on Notch's Twitter. He did kind of a shout out suggestions thing for a little bit, and one of the things that I did notice was this, that somebody suggested making lava boats, but Notch sent a counter suggestion saying, why don't we make minecarts act as boats in lava? This is very possible, but not confirmed. Also, in Notch's blog post, he mentioned that there is going to be a mobile version of Minecraft, and he's working on it right now. Whether that means for iPad or tablet PCs, or that means actually for phones and iPods and other MP3 players that can do fun apps and games and stuff, I don't know, but there will be a mobile version of Minecraft in some form. Notch has also mentioned that he's going to be adding more underwater content, and whether this means the return of the sponge block or more water animals, which he has also suggested. There are squids in the game right now, as most of us know, but he has mentioned making sea monsters, whales, some other things, but whatever it is, we'll be seeing more underwater content in Minecraft. And finally, as many people already know, Minecraft is officially going to move into its actual release. As many people know, we're still in beta, which is kind of weird because Minecraft won tons of Game of the Year awards and it's not even out yet. So we'll see what happens when Notch actually releases the game, and it's releasing on 11/11/11, and there are tons and tons and tons of other games coming out on the day that I really, really, really want to play, such as Skyrim, which is the main one. But anyways, thanks for watching, guys, and if you have any questions or comments, just drop them in the comment section below. If you have any suggestions for future tips, let me know, and thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you next time.